Let's bring you a terribly sad story where a Durban family is demanding answers from Umlazi's Prince Mshiyeni hospital. Their loved one died after being admitted. Let's find out what the situation is surrounding the death of this family member. Dasen Thathiah, you're joining us now with the latest on this. And it's tragic, of course, because due to a lack of life support machines, I understand.
Well, Gareth, that's one of the reasons that have been advanced to this family, but it's an unbelievably sad story because of the circumstances around the death of Umlazi Mshiyeni. So she was pregnant at the time when she was admitted to that hospital, about to give birth, and she was taken in on the 26th of December. It was the next day that she gave birth to a baby girl, but just a few days later, her family got a call saying that, in fact, she had hit her head, and as a result of that had passed away. That was on New Year's Day that they received that call, and this was after the birth of that little baby, only a few days old. But that wasn't the worst of it, because they soon found out that that was in fact not true. So although they had started the process of mourning that weekend, that New Year's weekend, she was in fact still alive. And it was on the Monday that they were told now that she was alive and that she had to be placed on life support. The family still doesn't know exactly what went wrong. They say that she was perfectly healthy when she was admitted, the birth was fine, and all that was left for her to do really was to be monitored at that hospital after the birth of the child. But let me bring in one of the relatives now, Zakona Mzalemu. Zakona, firstly, my condolences on the passing of Umlazi.
Thank you.
The family says that, in speaking to the mum and yourself, that you still are not sure of what happened and why she was taken off life support. Maybe just unpack that for us a little bit further.
Yes, as I've said, we're really not sure what happened, because she was a perfectly healthy girl at the age of 19 who just went in to have birth. And then later on we told her that she had an epileptic fit, and she doesn't have a history of that. And from that we've received 3 other stories as an explanation of what happened to her. So we still don't know what really happened to her that really caused her death.
The family would have been required, I imagine, to sign to take their relative off life support. What is that process like? Were they informed of everything in relation to what was wrong with Umlazi at the time?
No, I would say no, because currently, even speaking to my aunt, which is her mother, she doesn't know if she actually signed anything. All she knows, and she remembers, she said that she is going home to think about what they've said to her, and then she's going to get back to them. And that was it.
I imagine that you would have been asking the hospital for answers. You would have tried to do this over the past week, at the same time while planning the funeral as well. Surely this is not an easy time. What response are you getting from that hospital?
As I've said for you before, the first thing that we heard was about the epileptic and that she felt. And then the next thing we heard that she had blood on her brain. And then the third thing, there was water in her brain. So we really don't know what really occurred, because each time we ask the questions, we get a different answer. So, and apparently she had to be taken off life support because they borrowed it from somewhere. So my question was, still is, even now, if she had borrowed it from someone, why couldn't she be transferred somewhere else? Is 3 days a recovery date that is accurate for somebody that had fallen, as they've explained? How can you do that?
And just lastly, you were also mentioning to me that the family is struggling, even just beyond what's happened at the hospital, even to lay her to rest.
Yes, it is quite a struggle, because the only person that is working in the family, actually that has an income, is her granny, which is her grant. So it is quite a battle to put the burial money together. There's still a lot of things that they're still in need for. Friends, relatives and others that could put a hand, they have, but there's still a bit more that they're still in need of.
Okay. Well, all the best to you and the family during this very difficult time. Gareth, one of the relatives there relaying this very sad tale to us. You know, we have put in an inquiry with the Department of Health. We are told that we should get a response at least today to find out what went wrong or what happened there. But as you can hear, the family is still not convinced that she in fact had fallen and injured her head, which had led to her death. And just to add insult to injury, her family is now in mourning for the second time.
And it always takes, Dasen, for you to find these stories and uncover these stories before families actually get closure and answers. It should never have to happen like this, but we'll hear from you again later, I'm sure, once we get an answer from the Department of Health. Dasen Thathiah, sitting this afternoon with what I'm sure is a very, very sad and grieving family. The second time they're having to say goodbye to their loved one as well. Completely bizarre situation, and this obviously can't be the whole story. We'll get to the bottom of it for you here on All Angles.